GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number one on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
Hello everybody and welcome to the 6th round of the Virtual Clio Series. I am Keith Barrick here, flying solo for the moment. Possibly will be joined by season 3 champion may come in for a word a little later on. We're here at Knockhill for the 6th round. The championship has pretty well been a single horse race. Fortunate for Toby Davis, he has been basically the class of the field the entire way through. As a standing stand right now, it's a very, very long shot. It's a big long shot that he will not be caught or that he will not win this championship. Currently sitting with 268 points, followed by John Monroe with 188 points. But in the back here, you've got Monroe, Butcher, Talberg, all in a very, very close battle for that second position, with Lennon just rounding out the top 5. Chris Hack making a move up in the championship standings here by moving up into the up with 137 points, and Dan Allenson dropping by, I don't believe, racing in the last event. Andrew Waring making his way up, and then Darren Adams in the 10th position. The Virtual Clio Series this season is sponsored by GamePod.co.uk. We can't thank them enough for all of the support that they do provide us, and the prize that they are providing for this season is still up for grabs between only 4 drivers. You've got Jesper Talberg, Toby Davis, John Monroe, and Chris Butcher. Those 4 drivers have completed every single lap of every single race this season, and whoever does pull off by the end of the season, if all 4 of them do, there will be a random draw, and one of those 4 will be taking home the GamePod gaming rig provided by them. Be sure to check them out, gamepod.co.uk. You can find all of your gaming needs at that website. But we are now back here at Knockhill. You can see the field is lined up, some very colorful cars here. We've got a field so far of 28 drivers. With the top spot currently provisionally being taken by Jesper Talberg. It's not an uncommon thing to see, to find Jesper Talberg at the top of the sheets, but we also have Toby Davis, our current points leader, sitting in the 2nd position provisionally for practice. Now, one thing to discuss in lieu of this race is Knockhill's a very interesting track, as that I've been told that basically 1 in 3 laps it would almost seem like you could get your car up and over going through the hairpin. Right on board now with Jesper Talberg, and we'll actually follow a lap with him. As he heads down into turn 1, you'll see it's very fast downhill. You're going to come across, use all the curb on the left-hand side, and this is all downhill here, and you're headed into turn 3 of the hard braking zone. He gets a little squirrely there, trying to avoid the curbs on the inside, using all the track on the outside. Turn 4 heads down into turn 5, and 6 is a quick jump, and these cars get very, very light. As you can see, Talberg runs wide on the exit of 6 there. We'll see if we can hop on board with someone else and give you a full lap around this famed Knockhill circuit. The racing here will prove very intense. The fact that we are with such a large grid on such a narrow, twisty track will definitely prove that these guys need to give each other some room, show a little respect. With 30 lap races here, as Toby Davis fully clears the curbing on the inside, and then it abandons his lap there. We're on board with Andrew Waring. I believe he's going to be starting a hot lap. We'll just hop on board so you guys can get an idea of what to expect here for this race here for the 6th round of the Virtual Clio Series. You're going to head out of the last turn. This is an uphill run to the start-finish line, and you'll see the starting grid spots are actually on a downhill slope, so it's a little tricky at the start of the race. Cross the start-finish line, headed down into turn 1. You're going to be out as far as you can so you can get a good crossover. Use a little curb, get down, try to use the curve on the inside, not too much. Into turn 3, brake hard. As you can see, gets the car just slowed down, a little squirrely. Down through 4, very quick transition into 5 and 6 as you come up over the crest. He just nails that absolutely perfect, right to the outside of the track. And now he's headed into turn 7 here, which is a fairly fast uphill right-hander. and then kind of a gleaming left-hand corner, which would be classified as turn 8 down into the long back straightaway, which heads into the hairpin. And this is going to be where the majority of your passing is going to happen. The slipstream is going to happen into the braking zone. Brake hard. You need to avoid the use of the curb on the inside because you will get up on two wheels. And I have a very, very funny feeling that we could expect to see some of that happen here at this event. But that's a lap around Knockhill on board with Andrew Waring. Now, just to discuss a couple of things that have transpired in this season so far. Firstly, Gary Lennon taking his double win. If you weren't available, you did not see that event, or you did not catch the highlights, you can check them out after the fact at any time at our YouTube channel, Touring Pro Series, youtube.com/TouringProSeries. Now, Gary Lennon, on his statistics, this is what I wanted to discuss. He has now run 109 total races with the Touring Pro Series, with his first race taking place in the year 2012. January 13th, 2012 was his first race in Touring Pro Series. He has now run 109 events here with us. Sorry, excuse me. That was the first race that we had input into our GP classes. But Gary Lennon had attempted 109 events before he had actually pulled off his first race win, which would then be followed by a second race win in the same event. So Gary Lennon very happy with his season so far, and as you can see from the standings, he is sitting in a very good spot. Could potentially challenge for the top 3 position here in this championship, which would be a very good finish overall for him. And if all goes well, he could potentially take second place from the young and upcomer John Monroe. So, but also to discuss, we have, speaking of John Monroe, very newcomer to the series, very newcomer to all of the leagues, having just raced in 11 events. He has pulled off a top 3 finish already, and that was in his 3rd event here with Touring Pro Series. He definitely looking like he could potentially take a race win at this event. He's currently sitting in 2nd position provisionally in practice, but all throughout the week, he has been the quickest guy, running a 57.445. Now, obviously, with that being on our practice server, we're unaware of, if there's any offline running, possibly being too far in, a little bit of cutting. But he's still setting the pace. He is still only 7 hundredths of a second off of 7 thousandths of a second off Toby Davis currently, and this then would put him potentially here in a spot to take a race win. So we're going to be finishing up with practice here, about a minute remaining. And once the practice is finished, as usual with the Virtual Clio Series, we have a super pole qualification, meaning these guys get 1 out lap, 1 hot lap, and they are done. The difficulty, as seen with as seen throughout the entire season, is that short tracks with a lot of cars equals a little bit of carnage, and you get the 1 lap to prove your speed to set your grid spot. So it's very important in your out lap to get these tires warmed up, to utilize as much racetrack as you can without impeding other drivers. And we will see a bit of franticness as we have in the past, as Andrew Waring crosses the line there, sporting the Canadian flag. The funny thing is that William Levesque, our past champion, who is not racing in this season, is also a fellow Canadian as well. But Waring is currently not in a position to win this championship. This championship is Toby Davis's to lose. He has basically dominated every single event so far this season. Just always making sure he's getting the points that is needed. And Toby Davis sitting with 268 over John Monroe's 188. A total of 80 points split the two of them. Toby Davis could essentially wrap this championship up here today. But he would be very, very pleased to pull this off if he could. And if he could pull this off, this would be his very first championship in Touring Pro Series. So we are now finished with practice. Toby Davis tops the timesheets with Monroe in 2nd, Thalberg in 3rd, Callan in 4th. We're just waiting to head into the qualifying session, where we will see a little bit of hecticness, if we can call it that, with the Super Pole qualifying. but we're just wait for this to cross over. So just bear with us just one moment. And as we now are back for qualifying, as you can see, the drivers wasting no time getting on track. These guys, they do, generally you're going to see a number of guys that do want to get out as quickly as possible to get their lap set and get themselves in and get their time set, so that it basically sets a bar for the remainder of the drivers who have not gone to chase. Myself personally, I generally like to wait so I know what the bar is. By knowing what the bar is, I know how hard I need to push, and it gives you something to shoot for. Now, our championship leader is actually on track as well. Well, we have Andrew Waring as the first one who will be taking a time lap. As you can see, these guys are now trying to warm these tires up as best they can in a short period of time, as Toby Davis has rolled his car. What this essentially means is that he must continue this outlap, and he must set his time with a car that has been rolled on his outlap. I cannot believe this has happened. Toby Davis, who essentially is a lock for the championship, is almost, it looks like he's simply trying to break down this incredible championship that he's pulled off here. Wow, this is something that we've seen in the past. As you can see, this is the car that Toby Davis, our championship leader, must qualify with, as he only has this one attempt. This is unbelievable. So we're gonna wait a minute. We'll actually pop on board with Andrew Waring, who is currently on his hot lap, and we will see what kind of time he can set for what will essentially be provisional pole until some more drivers cross the line. So Andrew Waring will be looking to set a fairly decent time. As we've seen, the fastest lap come from Andrew Waring this week was a 57.664 in offline practice, or in our online practice server. Andrew Waring will be crossing the line. If he can beat that time, he will be very pleased, but we'll see as he crosses the line. Andrew Waring sets a time of 57.929. So not going to be, definitely not going to be as quick as he'd like it to be, as we now have Thalberg actually dropping in with a 58.4, very uncharacteristic of Thalberg, as Toby Davis has forfeited his qualifying lap. Our championship leader will be starting the race from the back of the pack. Toby Davis, championship leader, is starting from the back. So this is a huge moment here, as he has no choice but to start at the back of the field. So everybody, this is going to be a great race to watch, firstly, but it could also be torturous for Toby Davis, because he has to make his way through. He just needs to get some finishes here, because with 80 points clear, he only needs to score a total of 40 points to win the championship. So Ryan Callan is now starting his hot lap, as we've got Andrew Waring provisionally on pole, Thalberg in second. You know what? And I'm just getting word that I'm going to get a word with Toby Davis in warm-up, because I'd like to talk with him and find out exactly what exactly happened there. So I'm getting word from him that he will be joining. So please hold tight, and you'll get a word with. You will get a word with the man who has rolled his car in qualifying. It's very unfortunate. I don't mean to harp on it, but we've seen Toby Davis make mistakes in the past before. We know that he's lost championships with mistakes, and let's hope that this isn't indicative of how this season's going to end up, because he's had a picture-perfect season so far with such a lead. We hope that he can keep this all together. So, actually, just getting a little note, if you've ever watched the World Touring Masters TPS Films video, we're just wondering if perhaps there's a Fanta cap that has rolled from underneath his seat. It's kind of an inside Touring Pro Series joke, but if you catch up on some of our videos at youtube.com/TouringProSeries, you could definitely be in touch with some of the inside jokes that go along. Now, Callan has crossed the line in second position, so this does leave Andrew Waring with a current provisional poll, which you will be very pleased with. We're looking at John Monroe to take a time, which we still have quite a bit of time left. Who do we have on track here? Florian Strauss is yet to set a time. Eric Tveit is actually a good story to talk about as well. World Touring Masters, I was unable to commentate on, but he has dethroned Jesper Talberg and dethroned his perfect season. He pulled off an incredible victory over him. If you haven't caught that, again, make sure you check out our YouTube page to see all of the highlights and replays that go along with any of the videos and broadcasts that we do put on here at Touring Pro Series. But back to qualifying at hand here. Davis has a no time. Chris Hack is looking to start his lap, but Davis, if you're just joining us now, has not set a time because he rolled his car in his outlap of Super Pole. So this means that we will see an exciting race for him as he comes through the field, because we know he has the pace, but it also has to be a smart race for him so that he does not cause himself to get any type of DNF, because not only will it hamper his championship, it will also take him out of the running for the draw for the GamePod gaming rig, which would be a big shame for him if that happened, because it's a self-inflicted wound. And apparently there is no excuse this time. It's what we will talk to him shortly and get his view on exactly what happened there. Chris Hack looking to score himself a fairly quick time here with the group. With this group here and this particular track, passing will be difficult. So track position is key, and if you are starting further back in the field and you have the pace such as Toby Davis, passing is going to be critical, avoiding any type of incidents, and also avoiding error when you're amongst other cars is going to be pivotal if you want to have a good result and a good race here. But Chris Hack, so far looking pretty good, kept the car fairly clean. As he heads into the final corner, he's 8/10 off of the pole position, which should set him in a fairly decent spot. 8/10 would put him back in it would give him a top 8 currently, provisionally. So as he heads down the start-finish line straight away, currently 17th with no time. As he crosses the line, he'll be looking for a top 10, and he slots into the 4th position. Chris Hack has moved into P4, just in between him, Talberg and Gary Lennon. And John Monroe has set a 3rd position time. I wanted to catch him. I wasn't sure if he was on track, but John Monroe into 3rd position. So the funny thing is I was talking about Andrew Waring's time not being good enough based on the times we've seen. However, in a pressure cooker situation, you can see the fast guys like Toby Davis, John Monroe, and Chris Hack and Talberg. These guys couldn't set a time faster than that. So Andrew Waring currently provisional in pole as Florian Strauss crosses the line with a 10 seconds off. So he'll be starting in the 18th spot. So a couple guys struggling with the qualifying times here. As Butcher now is out on track, we'll get right on board with him and see what he can do if he has any answer for these guys. Chris Butcher just returning from Abu Dhabi as well too, where he was treated to a VIP experience from the Red Bull Gridsters competition. Our native Chris Butcher was there, and I do believe he got some pictures which you can find. We will post a couple of them up on the Touring Pro Series Facebook page, which you can find us at facebook.com/TouringProSeries. As Butcher is now 8/10 off. This was the same we saw from Chris Hack. So if he could keep it together, he could slot it into possibly the 6th or 7th position. As Chris Butcher is looking across the line for decent qualifying, where's it going to slot him? Here he is. It's going to be 6th place. So he'll be very pleased. He's up there. He's in the fray. Who else do we have on track now? Chris Butcher into 6th. Dave Simmons yet to set a time. James Gahagan is now on track, looking to set a time. He will be, currently we only have Davis. Davis will not be setting a time, but also Eric Tveit will be one to watch as well. Eric Tveit, unless he's gone over as well, I don't know if he'll have enough time. James Gahagan comes through the final corner. Let's see where he can slot in, because Strauss made a mistake and he set a 1:16. He's got definitely get ahead of the Haas as Tom Novi slots into 15th. 11th place for James Gahagan, so he will be pleased with that. As we've got, I believe that's Eric Tveit is headed out on track. Bradley Vanian is on track, setting his current time. See some of these guys leaving it to the very last minute here. Bradley Vanian will be able to get out here, get on track. And Eric Tveit is actually going to be crossing the line, it would seem, just as the time runs out. So I think we've seen this strategy from Eric on a number of occasions. But it seems to work for him. He qualified 2nd in the last World Touring Masters race and took the race win away from Jesper Talberg, as I believe Erik Tveit just disconnected. And see, this is the problem, and this is talked about on a number of occasions in our qualifying, is when you leave it that long, if there's any issue, you cannot get a time in. So he will be able to rejoin and warm up if he has disconnected, because it looks like he has. He will be able to get back in for warm up, but that means he has not been able to set a time. So Erik Tveit has left the game. He will not be setting a lap time here at the 6th round at Knockhill. So very unfortunate for him, but that is the risk you run with running at the very end of the session, literally leaving it with just seconds to spare, as Bradley Vanian has done the same as well. He is going to be the last person on track to set a lap time. Bradley Vanian curls around here, the Knockhill circuit. He's run for Optimal Motorsports, running the pink machine. As they come up over the crest, gets a little bit loose, using a little bit of the track. As Erik Tveit has rejoined the server, we will, well, we're going to see an interesting race, let's put it that way. We're going to see Erik Tveit and Toby Davis starting from the back of the field. Two guys that are very capable of making passes. We've seen Tveit more situations than just one, starting from the back and coming through the field and being the hard charger of multiple races on a number of occasions, on a number of sims and different cars. Bradley Vanian now crosses the line. He'll be looking to slot in somewhere in the top 10, and he does. 9th position for Bradley Vanian. He will be extremely pleased with that as we wind up the first round of qualifying here for race 1 at the 6th round of the Virtual Clio Series. So what we're going to have is we'll be coming up with the warm-up. We'll give you a rundown of the grid. I'll have a word with Toby Davis as well, and we'll see what he has to say about what happened. So we'll just hold tight. We'll be right back.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number 1 on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of...
We are back here with Toby Davis now. We are just trying to get a word with him to find out exactly what exactly had happened on track, as he has essentially screwed up qualifying. I mean, I don't mean to be harsh, but we were the only driver who went over in practice. Can you explain to us what happened, Toby?
Just trying to warm up my tyres, and got sideways through the chicane, and if you get sideways at the wrong point through the chicane, then you can roll. And I think we'll see quite a few people doing that in the race itself. So it's amazing, you know. I hardly ever did it in practice. I never did it on an outlap, and then come to qualifying, boom. But, you know, it is what it is, mate.
Yeah, I definitely agree. What is your strategy for this race now that you are starting at the back? Obviously, you've got the championship in hand. Yeah. We do not want to see no more Bathurst incidents, right?
I just want to take it easy. Of course, the GamePod competition's still up for grabs. So you just got to complete every lap. And to be honest, I only need 40 points from the last few races here, so it should be doable. So we'll see.
All right, Toby. Well, I wish you the best of luck. This championship is yours to lose right now.
Yep.
So just keep your head together, and we hope you have a good race. And hopefully we'll be talking to you post race. So best of luck today. Mate. All right. Now that was Toby Davis, our championship leader, who was just on track. We just wanted to get a word. We obviously heard from him where his head is at. What we're trying to do, though, is now we're going to be going through the grid here. And Andrew Waring, a fellow Canadian friend of mine, taking the pole position. He will be extremely pleased with this because, and I'll be honest, he'll watch the video back and say that I was ye of little faith. He pulls off a pole position of 57.929, which is definitely not as fast as we've seen these guys go. Ryan Callan taking a second place starting spot with John Monroe in third. Jesper Talberg taking the fourth spot, while Chris Hack is in the fifth position. Chris Butcher in sixth, Gary Lennon in seventh, Eric Strani in eighth, with Bradley Vanian in ninth. All of these guys should be pleased, very close up front, with, well, really less than a second separating the top 10. Andy Roberts in 10th position. A little further down the field, we've got Mike Bell in 11th, which he'll be very pleased. You know, I do believe his mum is watching this race, so we wish him the best of luck. David Carter in 12th, 13th James Gahagan, 14th James Johnson, 15th Darren Adams, 16th Jay Adji, 17th Nicholas Cole, Tom Novi in 18th, and 19th Jonathan Ockerklint, with 20th going to Jordan Karaduk, 21st Matt Emmons, 22nd Bjorn de Haas, 23rd Florian Strauss, 24th is Toby Davis, who did not set a time. Dave Simmons is also who did not set a time. Heinz Petzold, Alejandro Fernandez, and Eric Tveit all not setting a time. And by Eric actually leaving and rejoining, he'll be starting on the outside rows, excuse me, in the 29th position, but essentially it's 28th. One thing I did not get to that I really should is the team standings, because the teams currently, it is a THR dominance this season. THR Orange with 447 points, followed by THR Red at 224. However, Ice Cold Racing, with the recent wins with Gary Lennon and Eric Tveit, and Eric Tveit running well, are sitting only 5 points back of THR Red. So we could see a changing of the guard in the second position if Ice Cold can have a good solid finish here. And if we go run through the grid here, the Ice Cold Racing team is currently sitting in 7th, and where we got Mike Bell is in Mike Bell is Ice Cold Development, so he would be in 11th. So Eric Tveit being back at the back of the field is not helping their team championship run. So, but we will see how this race goes. We are winding down with 5 seconds remaining in the warm-up. We'll be headed to 30 seconds of joining time. We will be waiting for the lights. This is the 6th round of the Virtual Clio Series, sponsored by GamePod.co.uk, the longest-running manufacturer of gaming rigs on the planet. We will wait and see how this shakes out, as turn 1 can be a little tricky. It gets a little narrow. They're also starting on a hill. So we will see how this all shakes out in just a moment, as famous words are said, and I apologize for that burst from my microphone. But we are now going to the grid. We have 28 cars taking the grid to see this green flag here. The track is fairly cool right now, but tire management, as we've seen, is a big deal as the season wears out. These guys must pay attention to tire wear, as you can see, as you do see it. The guys who maintain their tires are the guys who are getting the results. So we're following along with Andrew Waring, who is yet to join the grid as the time wears down. When we're away, it's green, 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 green. Ryan Callan in second spot, with Andrew Waring just leading them down into turn 1. Ryan Callan's got a bit of a run going into turn 1 as they drape down. Callan has made it around Andrew Waring into turn 1. Runs a little bit wide. Andrew Waring slots in, and now he's under attack by John Monroe. John Monroe on the outside through 3. Callan running a little bit wide. John Monroe goes real wide. And as they slot in Waring back into second. Talberg up to third. Monroe into fourth as they come up over the chicane. These guys are really close, as you can see them drape around. There's not a lot of room, for error, as Talberg is all over the back of Andrew Waring here. And here we go. We've got Jesper Talberg in the third position, followed right onto the back of Andrew Waring as he looks down the inside early. It's a little too soon for a move like that, as Andrew Waring goes wide into the hairpin, and he's gone real wide. Talberg's trying to take advantage. He's gone by Waring. Waring's under attack. Waring has got people all around him. Let's see, and Waring's now back into the 4th position. Chris Hack's trying to take advantage too. John Monroe capitalizing. Talberg up to 2nd. We've got, at the back of the field, we know we've got Toby Davis and we've got Eric Tveit running through. But what I'll do is I'll just actually pop them up on the board here. As you can see, Toby Davis, where can we see? Toby Davis is currently not seeing him. Let's see what we can find. As Toby Davis is up to, he's up to 12th position. They're saying Toby Davis is up to 12th position. 12th position. From starting in 26th, he is up to 12th position. He has made up a massive amount of positions. He's gone up 12 spots in just 1 lap around Knockhill. He's down the inside. Everyone seemed to be giving him a lot of room as Eric Tveit is making his way around, and we're just having a car pull off here. We'll get on board with the leaders just in a moment here. As Ryan Callan has drapes around here on his own. He is out front now with Talberg just close in tow. A little ways back, Andrew Waring, our pole sitter, has dropped back to the 3rd position. As Chris Butcher just makes a move by Chris Hack. Chris Butcher by Chris Hack for 4th position. He comes up over the chicane, and Gary Lennon is looking menacing on the back of Chris Hack. Gary Lennon having some great results this season. Gets into the back of Hack just a little bit on the 3rd lap, getting a little dicey pretty early. But this is a long race. We've got 30 laps of racing to go here. So Gary Lennon will have look to be strategic, smart, as they come up through the chicane here, or the hairpin, sorry. Eric Strani up into 7th position. James Gahagan having a great start from 11th up to 8th. Great start for him. Toby Davis into the 9th position. This is incredible. What a run for Toby Davis thus far, as he's now up into the 9th position, top 10 so far after just 3 racing laps. You can see James Gahagan nearly getting up on 2 wheels. Toby Davis will be all over the back. Who's that around? Is that Talberg? Chris Butcher and Chris Butcher getting a little loose, getting sideways there. Not too sure what happened there, but just up ahead, you got Eric Strani by. I believe that was so Chris Hack is clear. Strani, Lennon. There must have been some contact between the 3 of these guys, as Lennon is now all over the back of Eric Strani, headed down into the hairpin, the final turn. Strani defending hard. Gary on the outside, trying to cross over. Not quite going to happen because it's an uphill crossover, so you're going to be scrubbing off at a lot of speed as Ryan Callan sets the fastest lap. Then Andrew Waring answers back with a 57.996. Let's see if Toby Davis can beat that lap time, because he seems to be on a mission, as he's currently in the 8th position on the back of Gahagan. Down to the inside of turn 1. Davis not going to do it. He can't quite make it by. As he's down the inside into 3. Nope. Gahagan's saying not going to happen. I don't care if you're the championship leader. This is my spot. Davis in 8th, trying to get back by Gahagan. It almost seems like he's trying to make a little bit of excitement. Here we've got Toby Davis running in 8th. Gahagan in 7th, Strani in 6th. Gary Lennon has made his way by Strani. Gary Lennon looking to defend from Strani after the spot he's just worked so hard to earn. Strani now in the slipstream with Gary Lennon, down and up into the hairpin here. And this is, we're going to see it's going to get a little hairy as the tires start to wear off, as Callan sets the fastest lap of the race at a 57.7. And in behind them, you've got Andrew Waring and Talberg on a two-man run here, as Waring has gotten back by Talberg. Waring possibly looking to chase down Callan here if he can keep the tires underneath him, because Andrew Waring, I've stated throughout the season, is I do believe he will pull a race win off at some point in this season in the Virtual Clio Series. Being his first championship he's running would be a very big accomplishment for my fellow Canadian. Andrew Waring second with Talberg all over the back of him, but Waring making short work of him, getting by him. The battling that we're going to be seeing is going to be, I think, a little further ways back, as Chris Hack is clear with no one around him, followed by Gary Lennon, who has actually gapped himself from Eric Strani, Strani in the 6th position, as in the inside. Oh, Davis down the inside. That's Butcher and Davis getting contact between the teammates. Davis has slotted up and gone by his teammate Chris Butcher as James Gahagan, but they both slid through. Gahagan up to 7th, Davis in 8th, Butcher back to 9th. Davis is going to be looking to get by Gahagan here. All he needs to do is find a spot where it's going to make sense, get a little bit of a draft, just slide one down the inside. As you can see, a lot of tire smoke from these guys pushing really, really hard, as Gahagan is probably just getting tired of the mirror full that he's got of Toby Davis. He's thinking, you know, just take it easy. I would like this spot too. As we follow along with Chris Butcher looking ahead at this battle, you see Davis really pushing hard, and it doesn't quite look like what he was describing. He was just going to take it easy, does it? Moving up almost literally the entire field. He's up 16 positions from the start of the race. But I think he will be very pleased to have his teammate on his 6, because Chris Butcher's not going to try anything crazy and potentially ruin the championship for his teammate. But we've seen them get into it before, and they have been teammates in the past, so we will see what comes of that. But up the front here, now you've got Andrew Waring is actually starting to gap himself from Jesper Tallberg, one of the most decorated drivers, or the most decorated driver in Touring Pro Series history. I actually, just for the fun of it, I actually was pulling up Jesper Tallberg's statistics, and it's pretty staggering. 125 total races. He's won 4 championships, runner-up in 2. He's won 30 races, 23 pole positions, 48 front row starts, 74 podium positions. It is a staggering results when you consider the depth of the talent in the Touring Pro Series in all of the championships. So just a quick rundown of some of the Iceman's achievements here in Touring Pro Series. But Toby Davis has now made it by Gahagan. Let's see if we can catch that pass. I don't know if we will or not. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little bit laggy there. I do believe it was a pass into the final corner, as Davis now into the 7th position. He has now made up 17 spots in this race thus far. And actually, the other man who has made his way up quite a ways is Eric Tveit, as it looks like he might be making another spot here, as he's currently in 12th position, as they're just lapping someone there. But Eric Tveit all over the back of Bradley Vanian. He has made up a total of 17 spots this race. So Eric Tveit definitely on the move. Oh, Gary Lennon. We've lost Gary Lennon. What has happened to Gary Lennon? I do believe he's rolled it. If he's lost suspension, we're going to see what happened to Gary Lennon here. Let's see. It's got to be. No, I'm not too sure. I don't know if we're going to get to see it. Gary Lennon retired from this race. That is a huge loss for the Ice Cold Racing team, as they were battling for a team championship. As Andrew Waring comes under fire from Jesper Tallberg here, as you can see some bodywork lying on the track. One can only assume that it may be the bodywork of Gary Lennon, as he is now retired with a suspension problem. So we have currently, as you can see, this track is very difficult. We have Gary Lennon with suspension, Florian Strauss, Jordan Karajuk, Andy Roberts, Daniel Blanco, and James Johnson, all retired with suspension damages. Mike Bell is now pitted. We've got, really, we've only got 22 drivers remaining in this race after only 11 laps. Following with the battle, actually Toby Davis seems to be missing a nose cone, a front clip. Let's have a quick peek here. Toby Davis, who was supposed to be taking it easy, is missing the front half of his car. As you can see in the background, there's some hard battling going on between James Gahagan and Chris Butcher. These guys are not taking it lightly. Gahagan under a severe amount of pressure from Chris Butcher as they jump up over the 5-6 chicane. And they're trying to avoid the bodywork which is left strewn around this track. Butcher's got a great run on Gahagan. This is going to be headed down into the final corner, into the hairpin. Chris Butcher down the inside, booking. That was clean past He was gone long before the corner as Gahagan is going to try to regain himself, possibly make a move back by him, as I believe Davis is now by Eric Strani down into he pulled the same move. The teammates both pulled the same move on the guy they were trying to get by. As Andrew Waring is into the pits. Andrew Waring is into the pits. Let's see is he getting damaged? Did he stop and go? What happened with Andrew Waring? It looks like his car might be settled down a little bit, but Andrew Waring is into the pits from second position. So Eric Tveit up to 9th, Adams up to 8th. Everyone reaping the rewards. It's Bradley Vaney into the back of Tveit into turn 1. They both go sideways. Bradley Vaney and they both somehow managed to pull that back off. Let's hop on board with Bradley Vaney and see. I think he just outbraked himself into turn 1 as they come down the front straightaway into turn 1. Looks down the inside, almost like a fake out move as they can't see a little bit of lag there as they slide to a little tandem front wheel drive drifting, but they both carry on. And Eric Tveit in the 9th, Vaney in 10th, Monroe in 11th, who hasn't had the best start here. Not getting the result he's looking for here when he was the quickest guy all through practice. Bradley Vanian looking to get by Tveit, but up front we have still some battling happening. Strani is still struggling. He's struggling to stay on the back of Toby Davis. Toby Davis is up into the 4th position, and I need to remind the viewers, if you're just tuning in, Toby Davis started in the 25th position. He has made up a total of 20 spots. Sorry, started in the 24th position, as Toby Davis is now looking to chase down Chris Hack, but he's got a long gap to overcome. 6.5 seconds, it looks like, as they cross the sector markers. Ryan Callan having a very quiet, lonely race at the front. It's funny to say that, but it does become quite lonely, and you basically you start challenging yourself to try to just push your lap times, keep them consistent. Ryan Callan actually pulling off a race win in the last event. In the last 2 events, at Verano, it was Toby Davis and Ryan Callan, the class of the field, with Davis taking race 1 win and Callan taking race 2 and winning by substantial margins at the end of that event. We're here at lap 14. We'll do a quick rundown of the whole grid, give you a view of the cars. Callan in the lead. Jesper Tallberg is sitting in 2nd spot. Chris Hack in 3rd. Toby Davis in 4th. Eric Strani in 5th under big pressure from Chris Butcher. You can see, look, it's just menacing what Butcher's looking down the inside. Strani tries to defend. Chris Butcher to the inside. Book it. He's clear. Butcher through. Strani tries to cross over. He can't quite get there. He's all over the back of Butcher now, but he's going to need to make a move by quick, because it seems that Butcher's got the pace. As Butcher defends down into turn 1. Strani's looking to the outside, right up against the wall. Strani not going to be able to do it. Looks down the inside. No. Chris Butcher holds on to 5th position. Strani back to 6th, and he's losing a little bit of time here, but I don't know if he's going to have quite the pace. As in the background, it looked like Darren Adams was getting a little bit loose. Darren Adams, great run for him, up into the 7th position, taking advantage of a lot of this shenanigans happening here on the track, as James Gahagan is in 8th. Eric Tveit, who started in the 27th position, I believe, he has made up 20 spots himself as well. So well done to Eric Tveit for getting up to 9th. Eric Tveit in 9th. We'll quickly run down the rest of the field here, as John Monroe is in 10th, trying to get by Tveit. Vanny in 11th. Waring in 12th after pitting. Nicholas Cole, 13th. Dave Simmons, 14th. Bjorn de Haas in 15th. Mike Bell in 16th. David Carter in 17th. Jonathan Okerklint in 18th. Alejandro Fernandez is now retired as well. Matt Emmons in 20th. Jay Agee retired with an engine, and Tom Novi as well. So we have had 3 more retirements since the last rundown. We're now trying to catch up with our leader, Ryan Callan, who is 4 full seconds ahead of the field, as Tallberg just pulling a consistent runoff here, but no challenge right now for Ryan Callan, as we are just past the halfway mark here at Knockhill for the 6th round of the Virtual Clio Series. Chris Butcher seems to be the one that's in the midst of a lot of the battling here, as the field seems fairly spread. Oh no, he caught John Monroe! He's lost a tire! John Monroe has gone off at the chicane. He has lost a tire, folks. There is nothing left of that back end of the car. Let's see if we can catch what happened here. I don't know if we will or not. Let's see what happened. He has gone coming up to the chicane. We're not going to quite see it. We'll see the tail end as he rolls it, and he just hits the wall and it pulls the tire off. Very unfortunate. John Monroe had a great starting position, but it's not going to be a good result here as he ends up without a tire. And we all know that you're going to need 4 of those to finish this race. And John Monroe is another casualty here of Knockhill, getting a little too overzealous with the chicane and taking himself out of this event. Callan unchallenged thus far in the lead. Thalberg second, Hack third. Great result so far for Hack. Davis in fourth, missing his front clip, as Butcher and Stronny still battling. Darren Adams with a comfortable 7th place. Gahagan in 8th. Tveit. This battle is still happening as there's a 3-car train as they head into the final corner. Eric Tveit on the back of Gahagan with Bradley Vanian on his 6. Eric Tveit, remember, starting in the 27th position as up front the leaders are now lapping Nicholas Cole. But currently there's only 10 cars on the lead lap, with Andrew Waring, who was our pole sitter, being a lap down. It's not what you would expect. Let's put it that way. He just a lap down with Callan, I believe, just ahead of him. So these guys are still on the lead lap. Bradley Vanian, Eric Tveit, and James Gahagan battling. But these two, it seems this is probably, if I could make a call here, this is probably the most spread out we've seen the Virtual Clio Series thus far this season, as you've got majority gaps are well over a second between the cars. There is still some battling between Tveit and Vanian, as Tveit is now back to 9th as Vanian makes his way through. Tveit going to look to try to take the spot back from Vanian. Around the outside into the hairpin. Tveit, a really bold move, crosses over, trying to get the spot away from Vanian. Down into turn 1, he's got the run. Vanian defends a little bit. Not going to happen. Tveit saying, thank you very much, I'm taking the spot back. As they head down into turn 1, Eric Tveit trying to take the spot back for 9th. Bradley Vanian defends. Can Tveit take it? Book it. Tveit back into 9th. These guys are still battling hard, but all the while, James Gahagan is saying, okay, thank you guys. Just keep it up. Let me have some space, please. As now, Vanian gets back by Tveit. I'd like to see that one more time as these guys head down in through turn 1. As you can see, Tveit goes through turn 2. Vanian on the back of Tveit, and Tveit just runs wide through 4, and that results in Vanian taking the spot back as Tveit now back in the same spot he was before. Slipstream down into the final corner, down the inside. Tveit under braking locks him up. Vanian gives him some room. He clears through, little shrug and shoulder as he carries on, and now Eric Tveit back into the 9th position. But James Gahagan is going to be loving this, these guys are battling as hard as they are, because it gives him a nice comfortable cushion of 2 seconds over these guys as Vanian looks down the inside again. This is the battle that's raging on out here, as the majority of the field is still very spread out. Eric Tveit battling hard, but Andrew Waring is now, he is in this battle, I do believe. Let's see here, Nicholas Cole. Andrew Waring actually has made up his lap. They're all showing a lap down. However, Andrew Waring is in this battle. Andrew Waring has, I do believe, on fresh rubber as well, with 9 laps to go, or 10 laps to go, as Andrew Waring is going to probably make short work of these guys with the fresh rubber. Vanian down the inside to defend, but not going to happen. Waring's got the rubber, got the grip. Vanian tries to defend down the inside. Waring tries around the outside, tries the long way, trying to cross over, not going to happen. Vanian going to get past here on the outside as Andrew Waring now is up into the 10th position as he passes Bradley Vanian. But now he's got Eric Tveit set in his sights, and he's got fresh rubber. And this is our pole sitter here. This is the guy who was the quickest in the Super Pole qualification. He is trying to make up some positions. He's got 10 laps to do so, as he just seems to be able to put the car wherever he wants. Gets into the back of Tveit, sends it a little bit wide. Tveit seems to have maintained. They're going to go right. They're going to go left and right, up over the jump. As he's got fresh rubber, Waring's able to keep the car under him, sliding a little bit. And we've got, let's see what we've got. Toby Davis has lost a spot to Eric Stronny, I believe. What are we missing here? Is he missing more parts to this car? I'm not too sure. Let's see. I just got informed we need to go check this out, but Toby Davis back to 6th position. Potentially could be suffering from some suspension damage. I don't believe it's going to be a. I don't believe it. Oh, he went off at the chicane, is what I'm being told. But also, you can see just ahead, Eric Stronny, I believe, has suffered some damage as well too. Sorry, folks, it just suffered. There we go. Eric Stronny actually looks to be in one piece, as Chris Butcher is into the 4th position. Hack 3rd. Talberg slowly closing on Callan, which could prove to be interesting at the end of this race, but we'll wait and see. Toby Davis, our championship leader, sitting in the 6th position currently, with Eric Stronny close in tow. Just a little ways back, Darren Adams a little ways back of him. But the battle here, Andrew Waring looking to go down the inside of James Gaggan. Book it. Andrew Waring into 8th position, and making his way back quite quickly, I would say, because Darren Adams is probably about, I'd say, 10 seconds ahead. I don't know if he'll have enough time to close in for the 7th spot, but just ahead of him is also Toby Davis, so we'll follow that as this race progresses. But Toby Davis, our championship leader, struggling, going off at the chicane. I mean, this is not taking it easy. He needs to just score some points here for this championship, because John Monroe's retired. John Monroe is, with the retirement, I do believe, I'm not a math genius here, but I do believe John Monroe, with his retirement, it may have thrown the championship away. So we'll wait and see, because Chris Butcher, actually, this is a very, in a championship standings, Chris Butcher, this is a huge score for him. With John Monroe taking 0 points here, Chris Butcher is going to be making up and taking over the 2nd spot. Jesper Talberg as well. So we could see Jesper Talberg take another runner-up position this championship. But we'll wait and see, as we've still got another race today, and we've got a few more rounds to go. Andrew Waring has now left this group, and you know that he's got fresh rubber to pull ahead that far. James Gaggan, Eric Tveit, these guys are still battling. Tveit, Vanian, Gaggan, and it's an entertaining battle to watch, to say the least. We've seen them side by side, give each other room. It's great to see these guys able to give each other respect on track, but also still continue to race extremely hard. I believe, is Waring closing on the back of Adams? No, he's got a long way to go. He's got this whole straightaway to make up if he's going to give him any chance, if he's going to challenge at all. But he's got 5 laps remaining, and it's going to be a large gap to overcome. I don't quite see it happening, but the gap that should be monitored here is Jesper Talberg, sitting in the 2nd position. He's 2.7 seconds back of Ryan Callan, who has basically been unchallenged this entire event. But he can now see Talberg in his mirror. Talberg is closing. Perhaps Talberg has saved his tires for the end of this race. Let's see what kind of gap they have as they cross the start-finish line. 25 laps completed. It's down to 2.6 seconds. So there is a very big possibility that we could see Callan get challenged at the very end. Oh, and Callan sideways through turn 3. It's not what he needs to be doing. He needs to be keeping his head together. He cannot be making mistakes like that. He can't get sideways, but it doesn't seem like it did affect him all too much. Overall, he's losing another 10th, just not quite enough time between the two of them. I'll quickly have a look at their times, as Callan is running consistently in the high 58s. We'll see what Talberg's running. Talberg should be in the mid 58s. He's down to 58.6, 58.5, so his pace is significantly quicker. So actually, it's down to 2.2 seconds. Callan now feeling the pressure. This is where champions are made. When you start to feel that pressure, if you start to ease up and your pace goes off, or if you're feeling the pressure and you're making little mistakes, this is where you got to put your big boy pants on, and you need to just keep your head in the game and not make these mistakes that are costing you those 2/10. Because right now, Jesper Talberg can smell blood. He can actually taste Ryan Callan in front of him. His exhaust fumes are just filling his car, and it's making him very, very hungry. Talbert down to 2.1 seconds, coming up over the chicane. Callan could be possibly just not pushing, maybe slowing it down a bit so he doesn't make a mistake, but Callan needs to be aware that the Talbert, the Iceman, is closing in very quickly. We'll follow that gap as the race continues, but we've got James Gahagan, followed by Tveit, followed by Vanian. These three guys, bumper to bumper, the entire race it would almost seem, and these guys are still battling right to the end. Very clean, but Gahagan will be loved to take a top 10 spot here. Tveit would have had a great run coming back for this race, starting in the 27th spot. As Andrew Waring, we had said, is he closing? No, he's not closing on Darren Adams. Andrew Waring will not make that gap up, as the gap is now down to 1.8 seconds for Jesper Talbert to Ryan Callan. Jesper Talbert is sitting in second position. He is chasing down Ryan Callan, who has led almost the entire race, as Callan makes a mistake. Seems like he got a little bit squirrely through the chicane. We are in the closing stages of this race, as Callan is now feeling Talbert breathe down his neck. The hair on the back of his neck is standing up as Jesper Talbert closes and closes and closes. It's down to 1.3 seconds into the final corner. Talbert runs a little bit deep. I think he got a little bit of a draft, which threw him off, as you can see Callan just gapping slightly now down this front straightaway. This is the race for the win. We are done 27 laps, 28 laps. We're on the 29th lap. This is the penultimate lap. Can Talbert get close enough to challenge? Talbert through 1 and 2, looking clean as he goes in a little deeper. This is where Talbert has nothing to lose here, really. He has the opportunity to push. Hack is 11.8 seconds back of Callan, which puts him over 10 seconds back of Talbert. So if he pushes, makes a mistake, there's nothing to lose, really, as long as he's not going over. But if he pushes and catches, Callan could make a mistake. He needs to get within that 1 second window, that 1 second gap of Callan's bumper, and then this is where the pressure gets on. They're headed into this is the second last time they're going to be coming through the final corner, as Callan maintains a gap of 1.2. Talbert is just menacing in the back there. Callan ran a 59.4 last lap. Talbert still 1.2. Let's see what the gap is when they cross the line. And Callan opens the gap up. He has opened it up to 1.3 seconds. Callan composing himself, keeping it together, using those finishing skills that he's developed over so many years. Callan needs to just keep it all together. This will be 2 wins in a row for him here, winning the second race of the last event, and also winning the first one here if he can pull this off. It's down to 1 second. Now Talbert very, very close. He's going to get now at that gap. He's going to feel the slipstream. Let's see looking from the back of Callan. Is Talbert going to be able to challenge? I don't think he's close enough unless he wants to dive bomb, but I don't see Talbert doing that. Talbert is in a spot to take some good points here, as Callan is going to close this race out into the final corner. No mistakes, no lockups. Keep it together as they're going to cross the line. Ryan Callan taking a well-deserved, pretty much wire-to-wire victory here. Unchallenged, flashes his lights in undulation. Ryan Callan taking the win here in the first race at Knockhill, and Talbert taking second. Chris Hack taking a well-deserved third position as he crosses the line. Fourth position is going to be Chris Butcher. Very well earned for him. The big championship points. It'll be THR 1, 2, 3 as John Monroe is not finished, and Eric Strani crosses in 5th position. Toby Davis in 6th. Darren Adams crossing the line in 7th position. A little ways back, Andrew Waring, our pole sitter, is going to be crossing the line in 8th. James Gahagan, Eric Tveit fighting right to the very bitter end. Eric Tveit trying around the outside. Not going to happen. He's crossing over. Is he going to get the run? Is he going to do it? I don't know. I don't know if he's going to catch him or not. Let's see as they cross the line. He's done it. Eric Tveit has passed James Gahagan at the line for 9th position. Eric Tveit takes 9th position from James Gahagan. Vanian in 11th. Dave Simmons in 12th, Mike Bell 13th, Nicholas Cole in 14th, and Bjorn de Haas in 15th. What a finish. Ryan Callan taking a big, big win, and we're ending this off here. So we will be right back with you for the second qualifying of this 6th round here at Knockhill. So please hold tight.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number one on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
And we are back live from Knockhill at Knockhill for the 6th round of the Virtual Clio Series, sponsored by GamePod.co.uk. I am actually joined now by Adam Vaughn, Season 1 champion, also a good friend of Touring Pro Series and good buddy of mine, known him for a long time, and it's great to have someone in the booth here because I'm starting to get sick of hearing myself on.
Oh, I think I was getting sick of it. I'm only joking, Keith. Yes. Nice to be on, give a couple of words and basically just commentate an exciting race. And
oh, for sure. Well, it's been exciting somewhat, but I mean, everyone seems to be just getting their car up on 2 wheels and suspension damage. I mean, these guys need to keep it together. You think Toby's going to crash his car again in qualifying?
No, I think he's realised that. I mean, at this stage, with the amount of points he's got, personally, me looking into it, you just wouldn't take the risk. I mean, you just literally, as you'd say, you stay away from the sausages.
Exactly, stay away from the sausages. You've got that dead on. But also, he is with John Monroe taking a DNF and him scoring points. I do believe the championship is 100% wrapped up currently. So that's a big deal. Actually, I think there's an outside chance of Thalberg, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the championship is pretty well wrapped here for Toby Davis. But we've got qualifying again in Super Pole as Andrew Waring, our pole sitter from race 1, is provisionally pole again at a 58.3, but Thalberg is currently 0.2 up on him, and Thalberg will be looking to take that pole as he was the quickest man at the end of the race, as Callan just was able to just close it off using his fantastic finishing skills of 19. Well done to him for taking the race 1 win, as Thalberg now takes the provisional pole at a 58.00. Vaughn, let me ask you one thing. What do you think that these guys with their hot lap pace, you know, we've seen low 50, like mid 57s. How come no one's pulling these times off here? Is it because it's Super Pole, nerves? What do you think it is?
Yeah, obviously because it's Super Pole, you don't take the risk with the curbs. You just, I mean, personally, my tactic in Super Pole was be as quick as you can with no risk at all. Because let's face it, with a field like this, you're never going to go from back to top 5 So
well, we did see it. Toby did it, but mind you, there was a lot of DNFs as well. I think he was putting people off as he came through the field.
yeah, with a lot of DNFs. But I mean, would you want to take your chances round the likes of the end of the grid?
No, and it is difficult because you've got very little real estate to work with, and passing opportunities are limited at a track like Knockhill. You've pretty well got one major passing zone, two, turn one and the final corner, and that's it. The rest of it is going to be just taking advantage of other people's mistakes while not getting into them. But we saw a great run from Butcher. Eric Strani had a good run as well. Strani's going to be looking to build off of his race one run as he slides through the chicane there. Great shot as he's literally sideways sliding through there. As we did miss it, but Toby Davis has set a time in this race. He's in second position with a 58.105, which he will be extremely pleased with, because seeing as he didn't set a time the last time around.
You got the usual Ryan Callan waiting to go last.
Yeah,
he wants everyone else to set the marker and then try and beat it.
But he did not do that the last time.
Monroe.
John Monroe is John Monroe to pull. Oh, I can't. We missed him because he DNF'd the last race. I wasn't quite thinking, but John Monroe sets himself a pole position at a 57.8. And this is. Remember, I was saying that we were wondering when we were going to see a 57 in qualifying. There it is, 57.891. And we've still got Eric Strani, who was very solid in that race, coming off a very good result there. Eric Strani could potentially slot into the top 5 if he just keeps his car together, as he slides heavily through there. 3/10 off would put him into a third position spot right around Toby Davis if he can keep this together. We'll hop on board and see what he's got here. As Strani, now you can see the long. This is the straightaway where you're going to see all the action, the passing, as we did in race 1. Headed into the hairpin. The hairpin's a fun corner, especially if you get up on the sausages, because these cars are not friendly with sausages.
Definitely not a track of vegetarians, is it?
No, definitely not. No, those and Mr. Callan creating these tracks just full of sausages is the reason that you've seen these cars go up and over, and the reason Toby Davis went over in the outlap. But Strani into 8th position. Ryan Callan is on track now. We'll hop on board with him. This is the guy who won race 1. Got a great start, literally led wire to wire, and we'll be looking to repeat that result, and would put him, if he wins this race, that would be 3 race wins in a row. I think he could be pretty proud of that result if he can manage to make that happen. But he's still got some obstacles to overcome in the name of John Monroe, Jesper Talbert, Toby Davis, Andrew Waring as well. But here he comes across. We'll see him do a complete flying lap as he comes up to the start-finish line to start his one and only lap, as these qualifyings are super pole. See if he can keep it clean. We didn't quite catch his entire lap in the previous race, but it's all about being smooth. And hey, look, if he wants to attack, he can attack, right? I mean, he's got a race win under it. He's not really in the championship hunt. He could just go all crazy. He could do a little kamikaze type of qualifying. Oh, look at him, just brushing up against those sausages. Carrying a great amount of speed through there. He's only 0.14 of a second off John Monroe currently. Is a little, I don't know, it's a little tight there. We'll see. As he comes up, it looks like he might have had one wheel on the pavement there.
Cal was really struggling to find a line for that chicane. I mean, I was watching him practice, and always 8 attempts down.
Yeah, he must have mixed up in that one corner there as he comes across. 0.8 off, that's a huge drop. That'll put him quite a ways back considering his pace in the race. I mean, that's going to be, let's see what he's going to drop in at. 58.7 in 9th position. I was not expecting to see Callan that so far back. Couple of surprise names. Heinz Petzold, great qualifying for him in a 58.6 in 7th position. Mike Bell in 6th position. Who else do we have to go here? I believe we've got, I think Eric Tveit. I almost wanted to, I should have got a hold of him and told him, do not wait until the end of the session. Because you saw what happened to him, right? He got a disconnection as he's doing his outlap. So it's just playing with fire. It's not necessary. James Gaha get into 11th. Butcher's going to cross the line. This could probably slot him into it. slot into a second, possibly a third. He's going to be right by his teammate Toby Davis regardless, and he does second. Good call.
Called it.
There's a reason you are season 1 champion, sir.
He just got a really decent mid-corner speed, and basically just the exit on the chicane, the hairpin. Sorry, you just need to hit it as flat as you can, because I mean, in these Clios, 1 mile an hour is a huge difference.
Yeah, no, it is. It's massive. That's the make or break. And Eric Tveit getting a lap in, but only qualifying in 15th. I have a feeling that he likes putting on a show, because he generally is starting at the back and working his way through the field. Whenever I watch him race or commentate on him, he's always putting himself in those positions. The only guys we still have left to go is Daniel Blanco. I don't know, he might have set a time. Bradley Vanian is starting his final lap. I think he did this the last time around. Bradley Vanian having a great run the last run around there with Eric Tveit, James Gagan. Pretty much the biggest battle we followed the entire race. As he gets just too much curb. See, if you don't want to get caught doing that, you go out middle of the field, because when you're the last guy on track, you're always going to get the airtime. Oh, he's right out to the wall, and he's only 2/10 off.
Maybe that's a quicker line.
Yeah, just brushing up against the tire stack. That's the best. That's the fastest line. You're just running on the edge of being flipped into the stands. Bradley Vanian looking to close off the qualifying here with 32 seconds remaining. So 1.1 seconds back. It still would put him in a possibly top 15, right around Eric Strani, the same guy Eric Tveit, who he was battling with in the last run there. James Gahagan and Eric Tveit, these guys are all going to be in the same spot again. We could see a repeat. Is he 16th? Right there, right in between Tveit and Gahagan. Eric Strani not having the strongest qualifying, but big notice, got John Munro pole. Chris Butcher 3rd, Davis in 4th. Mike Bell up to 7th. He'll be very happy with that run. We're going to get to the warm-up in just a second here, so just hold tight, guys. We'll be back with you in just a moment.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number 1 on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
And we are back live from Knockhill for the 6th round of the Virtual Clio Series, sponsored by GamePod.co.uk, the longest running manufacturer of gaming rigs on the planet. Be sure to check them out. They are a huge supporter of what we do at Touring Pro Series with our, pretty well the leader in sim racing broadcasts all across. So be sure to check them out, because without their support, we don't have the immense prizes that we do offer to our drivers. And also for random giveaways as well. But here at Knockhill, John Munro in race 2 has taken the pole position. He showed the pace all week long leading up to this event. He sets the pole time at 57.891. However, we saw from the race 1 that being pole position doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win. Andrew Waring struggling and finishing in 7th after having to pit. Now, I think he might have rolled or he might have jumped the start. I'm not too sure. Possibly get a word with him later. Chris Butcher in 2nd position. Great run for him at a 57.981. It's kind of championship dependent, because Butcher and Tallberg are now battling hard for the 2nd spot, as John Munro dropped a lot of points to the 2 gentlemen behind him. So this is a very good battle these three drivers. Toby Davis in fourth, our championship leader, and I do believe our locked-up champion. I won't say 100%, but I'm sure he'll know as soon as the race is done.
He's worked out already that he's not champion yet.
He's not yet? Okay. Yep. Yeah, I was going to say, I figured he would have. Andrew Waring, our first race pole position, starting in fifth. Gary Lennon in sixth. Mike Bell in seventh. Heinz Petzold in eighth. I'm going to say very well done to Heinz for an eighth place starting. Very well done to Mike Bell as well. Hopefully Gary Lennon in sixth. We don't see another DNF from him. See him keep it all together. He's got to keep it ice cold like the blood in his veins. Chris Hack, ninth position. Jonathan Okerklinth in 10th. Great starting spot for him. Ryan Callan in 11th. That's our race 1 winner, so I'm curious to see what kind of run he's going to have here. Darren Adams in 12th. James Gagan in 13th. Tom Novi in 14th. Eric Strani in 15th. Bradley Vanian in 16th. Eric Tveit in 17th. Again, always liking to start a little ways back, putting on a show. Bjorn de Haas in 18th. Jay Adji in 19th. David Carter, 20th. Andy Roberts, 21st. James Johnson, 22nd. Jonathan Karaduk in 23rd. Matt Emmons, 24th. Nicholas Cole, 25th. 26th is Alejandro Fernandez. 27th, Dave Simmons. And rounding out the final spot is David Blanco. And we have total of 28 drivers going to be taking the green flag here. And we will be seeing some in action again. Hopefully we can keep some more drivers in this race because obviously it's proven difficult so far. But Callan is now in this warm-up session out there setting a heater lap. He's up to have done a 57.797. So obviously he's not pleased with himself for not running a good qualifying run, but or a good qualifying. We'll wait and see how he makes out in this race, starting in the 11th position or 12th position. Sorry. So Adam, if you could make a prediction, who do you think is going to take this win?
I mean, I'd like John Munro to win it because he shows the one-lap pace, but I watched him practice yesterday and he just absolutely smokes the tyres. And I think, as we've seen in the Clios, it's sort of the Callan tactic is hot laps the start and then he just burns away his tyres and lets people catch him. But I'd say on consistency, if Jesper doesn't get into any trouble in third, I reckon he'll take it. Maybe Chris, but my money's on Jesper.
Well, I would have to agree with you, and a lot of people call me a Jesper Talberg fanboy, but unfortunately the statistics don't lie. You don't need to be a fanboy to call out.
Who says that, Keith?
Chris Butcher, pretty well all of THI. I've heard it from a lot of people. However, the man, I already read out his stats today, and if you never had met the man before, that's the guy you'd pick if you just joined in, because the guy, stats don't lie. He's got the most wins, the most podiums. Like, the guy just literally dominates our entire Hall of Fame. He should just be inducted into the Sim Racing Hall of Fame if it exists somewhere, because the guy's incredible. So, but John Munro, I would like to see John Munro pull a win off. It's a tough crowd. Chris Butcher is an incredible racer. Talberg is. Davis. Waring's proven to be a good racer as well. Lennon, like, he's in some tough company. Munro being a new driver here.
Attention grid, non-essential personnel will leave the grid now.
Mike Bell would be a definite long shot out there, but if you could pull it off, I know his mom is watching and she'd be very proud.
Unfortunately for Mike Bell, I think he'd be gobbled up by the faster drivers behind him. Obviously, he's shown the one lap pace there in the qualifying, but unfortunately, not dissing him at all, but I just think he hasn't got the racecraft with the quality around him like Lennon, like Callan.
Well, he's working on it. He's honestly, he's been improved. It's great to see. We've got 4 seconds left. We're going to be seeing these lights go out, and let's see what we've got as they head down into turn 1. And we're waiting for the lights to go out. These guys are going to be starting race 2 here at Knockhill. John Munro on the pole as they head off. John Munro gets a clean break. Chris Butcher slots into second. Talberg into third. Davis into fourth. Butcher is now being menaced by Talberg and Davis. In the background, you've got everyone seems to be made it through clear. John Munro, clean start from the pole. Not like in the first race with Andrew Waring. Butcher still in second. Oh, and who's that wide? That looks like Davis. Davis is wide. That was Talberg who went wide. Davis into third. As Butcher still slots in. This is a THR 234. As you can see, everyone clean around here so far. Butcher might be on the offensive, as you know the way he is. He's going to be looking to get by quick, make a statement, and try to get some room. as he's in the slipstream of John Munro, headed down into the final corner, into the hairpin. Munro down the inside to defend. Butcher looks to the outside. He's going to have to cross over here. You can't quite make it around the outside. Munro holding it tight. Butcher crossing over, not going to do it. Munro very smart, very clean racing in the first lap. Great to see these guys keep it clean, but Butcher, I know what kind of guy he is. He's hungry. He wants the spot now. This is my spot. I want it now. And he looks down the inside. No, it's all about the pressure, right, Adam?
Oh yeah, we've got good starts from Gary Lennon and Ryan Callan as well, and unfortunately I think Mike Bell hit my words there. He's dropped from 7th to 10th, but maybe he can make it up if he follows Callan on. Callan's through now to 8th, so let's watch out for Callan. Yeah,
let's see Callan making a move up through the field for sure, as I'm sure he wasn't pleased with his qualifying result, but again, Toby wasn't pleased, and he had a great run up through. But I honestly think this is where it's going to happen. I think that Butcher is going to force the issue here. I think he's not going to want to slow down, because these guys here are battling. These three cars are the battle for the second place in the championship. Davis can just cruise. He's on cruise control. These guys are now fighting for a second place finish in this championship with, I believe, more drivers than we've ever had in one championship. So this would be a big deal for him if he could pull off a second place in his first full championship for John Munro. Butcher and Thalberg have both been in TPS for a long time, so John Munro is the guy who's got something to prove here.
Yeah, unfortunately for Chris, one of my tactic here was, because the way I watched John drive, is just let him, don't match his pace, just let him. I mean, you can see from here, he is all over the place. Chris is a lot smoother. If Chris just keeps a steady gap, I think he'll have him second part of the race, but obviously then he doesn't want to back onto Jesper and Toby.
Andrew Waring into the pits again. I'm just, it's unbelievable. Eric Striding into the pits. Two guys who were looking hopeful for the start of the race. They struggled. Oh, John Munro's off at the hairpin. He goes wide. There's the mistake that you were talking about, and it's happened so early, as John Munro relinquishes the lead with no force at all, and Chris Butcher goes through. What's going on? He's falling through the field. He's into the pits. John Munro jumped the start. Don't tell me he did jump the start. John Munro is into the pits with, I believe he's, let's see what we're hearing. I do believe he is gone. John Munro is into the pits. Very unfortunate. It looks like we're not going to get to see the battle between Butcher and him. So Chris Butcher now leading, kind of uneventful.
Butcher will be happy with that, but he's got Jesper to contend with yet, and I don't think Toby's going to make a move. I think Toby should just be happy sat there. He's got a little gap on Gary Lennon. And Gary Lennon to 4th, and Ryan up to 5th.
Yep, these guys are making short work of what's happening out here, as Butcher just has Thalberg to deal with. But these two guys, they may be teammates. However, these guys are also battling for a second place finish to fight into the pits. Everyone seems to be missing the marks and having to pit. We've only got one DNF so far. Davis is the quickest man on track at a 58.0, as Davis is kind of hounding the back of Jesper Thalberg, his teammate. He doesn't really need to, but Gary Lennon closing. And Gary's got, he'll make no two ways about it. He'll be going through. He doesn't care what color THR it is.
I don't think Gary's a big fan of THR either, so if he gets anywhere near that Davis car, I wouldn't want to be Toby.
Well, I think they've had some clean battles so far, thus far.
Gary's a good guy. I'm not going to say put it off, but
no.
I don't. He's had some pass with the Davis and Butcher like.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh well, these guys still have a long race to go. Callan is there, just kind of slowly reeling them in, but I can't see battling. I know that Butcher's pace isn't as quick as Thalberg and Davis in the race trim, based on the last race we just went through. So what that means is like Butcher's already at 58.7s, 58.6s. That's the pace that these guys were running at the end of the race. So Callan is now the fastest man on the track with a 57.9. We're going to see him close. All he's going to have is one ice-cold racing car in between him and a slew of THRs. He just runs really wide. Maybe it is the quickest way around the track.
It just seems to be. He gets a great line into that chicane.
Yeah, using a little bit of sausage on the inside there. But Callan is going to be looking to push. Let's catch out what's going on just behind here, as you've got Heinz Petzold in 7th. I'm really impressed with the run Petzold has had. Good qualifying, maintained his spot. Chris Hack has made up a number of spots. As you can see, he's gone up 3 spots. Callum's gone up 6. Everyone in the top has gone up because John Monroe has dropped. But a little further back, you got Darren Adams. Darren Adams and Hein Petzold are teammates sitting in the 7th and 8th position. There's John Monroe. Now, it must have been a stop and go that he got because he did not take tires. He's not that far back. Callan setting a faster lap time. He's only 8.2 seconds back. It's gonna need some intense battling as Gary Lennon is through 2 THR drivers. Gary Lennon is by Davis and Tolbert. Wow, you called it. He is not a fan as he just smokes through these 2 guys. Unbelievable. That's some fantastic driving.
Catch that
from the Scotsman. Let me just have a look. The problem is let's see. Let's pull it back and see what we can catch because I know that not too bad. Okay, so headed down into turn 1, it looks like there might have been some contact between Davis and Thalberg, which allowed Lennon to get down the inside there. We are dealing with a little bit of lag, so it's hard. We're trying to guesstimate what happened. So there's a potential for a little bit of contact between teammates, which allowed Lennon to squeeze his way through. But Davis is now back by, and Thalberg. Thalberg into the back of Lennon. Oh, damn, he's not going to like THR much more after that. No, it's pretty fierce up there, but Callan seems to have dropped off from this battling that's happened up there, and Chris Hack has closed right in. Perhaps Callan has kissed the wall?
I think Callan's got involved in the lap earlier and done himself in. I mean, if I was Callan, I would have done the same, because if he can get past these, I think he's got the pace to match Butcher.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Butchers are running at a 59.1, which is much slower than these guys were doing in the race last race. As Tolbert down to the inside, book it. Gary Lennon, no, not going to happen. He has unbooked the flight. Gary Lennon is carrying on, trying to catch up to Davis. But Tolbert's not going to like this because Tolbert needs these points over Butcher to potentially take a second place finish in this championship. This is pretty well the big battle that's happening is Butcher, Tolberg, and John Monroe is gone off the grid here.
I believe I did catch him at the end there.
And he is
DNF'd. Yeah.
DNF'd that's 2 DNFs for the young superstar John Monroe. Just looking, you know what? I think he's got to earn his stripes. He's got to take his licks. We've all done it. We've all had multiple DNFs, but it's all about earning your stripes. And John Monroe has showed that he's got the pace. He needs to work on his finishing skills. So we'll see how John Monroe does in future events, but unfortunately he's going to have to take 2 DNFs. As right now, Jesper Tolbert down the inside of Gary Lennon. Gary Lennon pushed back to the 4th spot, as now it is THR 1-2-3 with Ice Cold Racing in 4th, followed by TPS Racing with Ryan Callan in 5th, who is now 3.6 seconds back of Chris Butcher. Chris Butcher is inconsistently lapping but pulling away. He did the lap before this. He did a 58.1. This lap 58.6. The lap before that 59.1. So his jumping around. He needs to get consistent and start to pull away and focus on getting ahead of these guys like Davis and Thalberg, his teammates. As Butcher just needs to keep his head in the game, try to score as many points as he can, and possibly take a second spot in this championship.
I don't think Toby will challenge him. I think Toby will just sit there and let him take the win. He's catching him quickly. But he pulled out 1 point. He pulled out another 6 attempts.
And Callan down to the inside of Lennon. Callan right in the sausages. As he carries on, Gary Lennon just going to give him a little bit of a nudge, saying, "I don't like that too much." As they look back on the game pod wing, back to the TPS racing car of Ryan Callan from Gary Lennon. Thalberg is a little ways ahead, looking back, looking forward. Thalberg using all the track, trying to catch Davis. I think there's a chance if Thalberg catches Davis, Davis may give the spot to Thalberg to keep that battle close between Butcher and Thalberg. But I don't know, these guys are going to have to work that out between the THR camp as Callan drops off the back of Lennon just slightly. But we'll get back to the grid here. We'll see Darren Adams and Heinz Petzold in a very heated battle, followed by Mike Bell. These guys 3-way battle here for the 6th position. Teammates in front of Mike Bell here, and Heinz Petzold having one of his best runs ever in Touring Pro Series, and Darren Adams sitting currently in 6th. it's hard to call because it's so early. But who would you say could pull off a better spot between these three?
Mike Bell's looking racy. He's looking.
Oh, no, Mike Bell.
I'm not going to talk about Mike Bell.
No, we're done. We're done with Mike Bell because we seem to, every time we mention Mike Bell, he seems to have an incident. He's only down one spot from where he started at the beginning of the race. But as soon as we start talking about him, he just drops a wheel or something. But we'll head back a little bit as you get through James Gagnon in 9th, Tom Noe in 10th, Ockerclint in 11th, Daniel Blanco in 12th, who started dead last. That's a very impressive run. He's up how many spots? 12 positions. Nicholas Cole is up. It looks like I think 11, as he's now under attack by Andy Roberts. Nicholas Cole is attacking Bjorn de Haas, more like it. As Nicholas Cole looking to get his moment here. He's on the back of Bjorn de Haas. We're looking back from Bjorn's car in 13th. Nicholas Cole up 11 spots from the start, but I don't think we have quite as many DNFs as this race. And Nicholas Cole gets a killer run.
He looked, to be honest, I don't want to be a demon, but he did look like he sort of edged over the boundaries there of the track. But
using a little too much. The sausage is getting in the way there.
And the grass.
Yeah, sausages and grass. But here Andy Roberts is now trying to take liberties as well, going by Bjorn de Haas down into the inside of the final corner. Andy Roberts. Nope, he backs off. Now he wasn't making that corner, so it was not right of him to back off. We'll give the guys another rundown here so that we can see who else is where else everyone else is finished. As Andy Roberts looks down the inside of Bjorn de Haas, let's see if he can pull this off.
He's got it done.
Through. He's got it down into turn 1. Andy Roberts booking right through on Bjorn de Haas into 14th. Bjorn de Haas going to look his way back, but we'll catch it. Is that Eric Tveit? Yes, it is. Eric Tveit off. But here, Bjorn de Haas 15th. Andrew Waring, again, back. He's not making it easy on himself to get that first win.
His line through that corner was absolutely great.
Andrew Waring uses the saw, just carries on through as he's just using every little bit of the track and then some. Stroney 17th, Simmons in 18th, Matt Emmons 19th, Alejandro Fernandez 20th, David Carter 21st, Eric Tveit missing a front clip in 22nd, Karajuk 23rd, James Johnson 24th, Bradley Vanian still running but in severe damage in 25th, Hack, Monroe, Adji, all DNF. Back at the front, Butcher leading over Davis. We're almost to the halfway mark, but it doesn't seem like, it looks like Callan has now made his way by Lennon, but has a little ways to overcome as THR is showing its dominance that they have shown all season long here in the Virtual Clio Series. Chris Butcher leading, but Davis closing ever so much. But like you said, there's a very good chance he may not challenge.
I mean, talking about the guys at the back, like Nicholas Cole and I don't know who else it was that made up 10 plus positions. I mean, if you just watch their race, I mean, in a race like this, they're just doing the right thing. I bet they're keeping off the curbs.
Yep.
They're just doing the lines, keeping it consistent, and just picking people off as they push and make mistakes like that.
Oh, like that. Yeah. Well, actually, speaking of the mistakes, who's that in the background? Is that Lennon? Ooh, Lennon nearly kissed. Let's have
someone
a look
else
at that.
Someone else.
Let's see this. This is on board with. I'll catch what happened. Let's see. Oh, that's Tveit over there. Lennon getting a little.
Oh, hello, little kiss.
Hello. Wow. Well done to him to keep it off the wall. But speaking of mistakes, John Monroe was one of the drivers that was in the running for the every lap of every race draw, and with his DNF in race 1, pulled him out of that. So that who remains is Jesper Talberg, Toby Davis, and Chris Butcher, all in the running for the draw for the Game Pod racing rig. So the three guys that are 1, 2, and 3 here are the three that are still in the draw for the great prize that GamePod.co.uk has provided us.
I wonder what Jesper will do with the second one.
I think he'll give it to me.
I think he'll put his feet up on it.
Yeah, I think so too. While he drives. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he could use it to set his beer down on.
Oh, definitely. I mean, one more is better than, 2 is always better than 1, isn't it?
Yeah, true. Actually, I'm sorry. I do apologize. Chris is no longer in the draw, so it's actually Toby and Jesper I was just informed. So, but I will point out one thing also. What happened there?
Oh, rewind. Someone's hit the pit lane and nearly took the leaders out.
No. Let's catch the play.
Keep watching.
Oh, wow. That is Eric Strani, if I do believe. As he's sitting there, you need to escape when you do that. That's
got to be considerate there, haven't you? I mean, I'm sorry if he's listening now.
And look, at Butcher, if he wasn't paying attention, he nearly lost it. Let's see what that looks like in a television kit. Oh, wow. He is coming up, not thinking anything of it, as Strani clips the wall, and they all clear through. Great driving for these guys.
For him to be still awake. That's brilliant. And hello. Stay there.
Yeah, as they carry on through. We're now on lap 18, sorry, as the leaders come through. It's THR 1, 2, and 3. Chris Butcher still leading. He's pretty well led wire to wire here, it seems, with Davis in tow and Thalberg in third, and Callan fifth, and Gary Lennon fading a little bit into fifth. But get great runs by guys like Darren Adams in the sixth position, who isn't all that far off. He's 13 seconds back, which is still an incredible run for him. Mike Bell in seventh, now taking the spot from Heinz Petzold. Both of these guys will be very pleased with their runs that they've got going on, as you can follow along with Heinz Petzold, as Mike Bell is just literally, looks like he's out of control. Well,
absolutely awesome control there from Mike Bell.
It is. Well, to keep it together, I mean, but also pointing out MTR Racing has pulled off 3 poles in a row now. However, the poles need to result in good finishes, is what we need to see. MTR needs to get themselves together, get the race strategy together, and pull off some big wins, because to have that pace is one thing, but to close the racing out is another. And it's just got to be a matter of time, a little change in training possibly, but it's great to see MTR showing so much pace so far. Heinz Petzold, we're on board with, following Mike Bell. With just ahead, you've got Darren Adams, Gary Lennon a little ways in the distance, and then again, this is what happened in the first race. It kind of spread out a little bit. Davis, Butcher, Thalberg. I don't know if we're going to see much battling here, because Toby Davis just seems to be content sitting in the back, just in behind Chris Butcher. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. Oh, Toby Davis, out of the corner. Okay, well then, you know what? Maybe he just says, I'm faster than you, I'm going by. Oh, this is good stuff. Okay, well, you know what, guys? I do appreciate that these guys will battle it out, because this is going to give us some entertainment here for the viewers who are watching, as Chris Butcher now trying to get back by. These are the 2 drivers who are in the contention for running the laps. So now, is there a chance that they can both DNF? If that is the case, Adam Vaughn wins by default.
I would have loved to be on Team Street with Chris Butcher as Toby made that move. I would have absolutely loved it. I mean, number 1, Toby's nearly got the championship wrapped up. Number 2, he's got a 50-50 chance of winning.
Well, actually, no, sorry, Chris is not in the running. I keep messing that up. It's just
no, it's Toby and Jesper, yeah. So he's got
but
50-50
still,
chance.
You know what?
Winning.
But these guys, I do like that they're battling, because it'd be a bit of a snore fest if you didn't have these guys doing anything. As Davis runs a little bit wide there, and Thalberg and Butcher gets into the back of him.
A game pod seat says I don't make that move.
Yes. No. Exactly. He's got, all he has to do is finish this race, and he's locked the championship up. So we'll wait and see how this goes. But Callan is now closing significantly on these guys. The boys here are they're battling hard, which is good to see. Callan, you know that if he can get on the back of Thalberg, he is not going to wait. He is going to go as soon as he can, as these guys just up over the curb. Callan seems to be just getting really out of shape. He's pushing a little too hard, but the gap is maintaining with these guys all the way through. This is going to be it'll be interesting to see if Butcher does come back hard at Davis.
I think it's too late for Callan. I think he's probably done his tyres, and unless Jesper attempts a move, I can't see positions being changed here.
Well, you being season 1 champion, you know how important it is to keep the tires under you. especially in a longer race too, right? Like, what is it exactly you would do in a scenario where you wanted to have better tires at the end of a race? Would it just ease off, or what was your strategy when you won?
It was more adapting to the mod. I mean, the difference between me and likes of Callum, I mean, on a one lap Callum was quicker than me, but I saved my tyres better, and it was just a driving style, less lock basically. The more, for some reason, in this mod, the more lock you put on, the quicker you are. I mean, I did it trying to keep my tyres fresh in season 1, and I think William perfected it in season 2.
Yes.
I mean, he had the pace and the tyres at the end of the race, so I mean, that's something I couldn't do.
Well, he William Levesque taking season 2 championship, and it was a close battle between all parties. Just some excitement, and Levesque taking that championship. You taking season 1. When will we see you back for a full championship anytime soon?
Well, I'm in WTM. I've already missed a race, and I'm in a quite slow car in the BMW. I mean, I find the World Touring Masters more rewarding, and I'm not really going in to be competitive. I mean, to enjoy it at the moment, because I don't think I've got the time to commit. But I don't think you'll see me in front-wheel drives again. I reckon.
Never say never. Oh, sorry. I got to cut you out there. Davis nearly lost it just coming up over the chicane. I don't know if we're going to catch this. I'm just fast forwarding it. No, it just not quite going to get it. But here they come around. Now look at them. They've all bunched up. Davis over the chicane got really, really sideways. As Butcher now looking to the outside into the final corner. Davis locks up. It's a little squirrely. Davis on the inside. Butcher trying to cross over. Not going to happen. Callan is now looking to go by Thalberg into 3rd position. He's got the inside. It looks like Thalberg's giving him some room. Callan, I don't think is going to lift. We head down into turn 1. And Callan, no, he eases off. But Butcher's trying to make his way by Davis. This is some hectic stuff here, as you've got Chris Butcher trying to make his way back by Davis, and I think Davis might have cooked his tires a little bit with that slide through. This is the exact spot where he did it. Coming up over here, he got really loose. As he runs wide, Butcher's got a bit of a run. Looking back, Callan has dropped a little bit off of Thalberg. Butcher on the back, Davis.
There's the tires are gone.
Yeah, he's looking cooked, and Butcher has got a great run. Going to be looking to go by, headed down into the final corner. Davis is on pure defense mode now, allowing Callan to close. Callan down the inside of Thalberg, and he's done it. Callan, because of Toby's defense. Callan is into 3rd. This could be a double-edged sword. He's defending to keep the lead, but it's also costing him, costing his teammates places, as Callan is now into 3rd, and Callan will not be nice about it. He wants to go by. He wants this win. Butcher, I think, will be a little. This is some hectic stuff here, as Butcher is trying to find a way by Davis, as Davis seems to be off pace now. He did a 59.6 the last lap by.
Toby needs to let Butcher through here.
I would have to agree, as Callan runs wide, and so does Thalberg. Butcher's probably not too pleased, as I can imagine what the team communications are like.
I'll tell you one thing, if Callan does get on the back of Butcher, he's not looking for the championship, he's looking just for literally a digit more on the Hall of Fame at the moment.
I agree. Callan's on the inside of Butcher, and he's done it! He squeezes his way through a very robust move. I'm sure we're going to hear Butcher complaining about that, but I got to look at that one more time though, because that was a really, really late, honestly, a great late move.
It's borderline aggressive, but perfect.
There was no contact.
Exactly. It's borderline aggressive, and it is reliant on Chris not to turn in early.
I agree. But you know what? Look what's happened now. Exactly what we just said. Callan is now on the back of Davis. Who is that up front there? I didn't quite see what car that was, but he just went off in front of him. Now Butcher and Thalberg are battling just in behind these guys, but now Callan has a chance to take on Davis for this win and take a double here at Knockhill. And this all stems back to Davis getting a little loose and then super defending, which closed the field up, as Callan just goes in really, really deep into the final corner as they're coming up around here. And I believe that, who's that just in front of them there? Look at Davis trying to get a draft off the lap car. Come on now. And Callan follows suit as they're headed into turn 1. I think Davis though has got a better run down the start-finish line. Sure, he's over! Callan is over, and he flips in through turn 1, and we caught that live as he takes the lap card out. Oh, what a turn of events! Let's see this on the TV cam as he comes into turn 1. I think he locked up. Let's see what happens here. Let's see if we can catch it. Callan locks up, gets onto one of the sausages, gets a little airborne, launches them, and those are the anti-cut measures. They're meant to push the car up so you don't cut the track too much. Gets down, could have saved it, but gets into the wall, and then over he goes. And that's it for Mr. Callan as he retires from running in third position, as Toby Davis now is got a comfortable lead of 1.1 seconds over his teammate Chris Butcher, Tallberg, and Lennon is in fourth. Darren Adams in fifth position.
Mike Bell in sixth.
Mike Bell in sixth. Great runs for these two drivers respectively. I got to get off Mike Bell because he goes wide every time. Every time. But it's funny because Ryan Callan is the guy who creates these tracks and puts these curbs in, and he got done in by one of his own curbs.
It was a do or die. He was pushing as hard as he can.
Oh, for sure.
If you watched actually Toby and Callan, they've got the same brake bias and they're pushing it all the way to the back.
Yes,
and I don't know whether he dipped a wheel, but as soon as he hit the brakes, rears were just locked.
Oh, for sure, and he dropped a little wheel there. But we've got these guys still battling up front as Davis locks up into the final corner, and Butcher is right there, waiting to capitalize as we're now coming up on the penultimate lap. It's Butcher. It's THR 1, 2, 3. We've seen this throughout this season. These guys have been a dominant force, but they do have a lot of talent on the team. They are now 1, 2, 3 with just 2 laps to go, as Tallberg's going to look for a way by, because this is championship dependent. This is for a second spot in the championship. Tallberg needs to get ahead of Butcher here if he wants to have a shot at that runner-up in the championship, as Butcher just seems to be bouncing off the curbs. These guys are taking a lot of liberties here with these curbs.
I think the tactic with the curbs is be aggressive on the first. Ooh, hello. There we go, the nice THR logo for everyone. Yeah,
a little saying hello there as Tallberg is now in the slipstream, headed into the final corner. Is he going to pull a Callan down the inside? Oh, Jesper Tallberg locks it up down into the final corner. Not going to do it. No, and you can see the rear bias. He gets squirrely under braking these guys. They do, all three of them. Now,
it's the best bias to have as you're going into those types of corners. It stops you wearing your front out more.
Well, we've got these two guys. I was just checking back here to see if anything has changed in the back, but no. Daniel Blanco, I have to give this guy a lot of credit because a very quiet race. He's made 20 positions.
Oh, nice.
20 positions. So well done to Daniel Blanco. We didn't give you a lot of coverage throughout the race, but that is a phenomenal result for you. And Tallberg's down the inside. He's through. He's through on Butcher. We missed it. Butcher might have made a mistake. Let's just see if we can catch it. Not going to happen. I was trying to get a replay on it, but not going to happen as they're coming through. Davis is still leading. Butcher's wide. Tallberg is into second. Butcher's doing anything he can to get this spot back. He's in the slipstream of Tallberg into the final corner as they're closing in. Tallberg defends. Butcher to the outside. He's going to cross over. Gives him a little bump. Says, hello, how you doing? But not going to happen. Toby Davis will take the race 2 win and his first ever Touring Pro Series championship. Toby Davis is now crowned Season 2 Virtual Clio Series champion with his teammates following. Great way to finish off not finish his season, but cap off his championship with Tallberg and Butcher second and third. Coming through in fourth is going to be Gary Lennon with another great finish for him. Followed by Darren Adams. And then I believe we've got Mike Bell in the 6th position. Great finish from Mike Bell. Great runs for Mike Bell. Heinz Petzold in 8th. James Gagan in 8th. In 9th position is going to be Andrew Waring, closing through in the 9th spot after having a tough run, having to pit early on, and then followed up by Daniel Blanco. So Daniel Blanco ended up with 19 positions gained as Andrew Waring got him just at the end at the final lap there. 11th place will be Andy Roberts. 12th place is going to be Nicholas Cole. Great run for him. 11th place will be, there's Nicholas Cole coming across the line. And the remainder of the field as is fields out. So Dave Simmons Aqua Clinton 13th, Simmons 14th, Bjorn de Haas in 15th, Tom Novi in 16th, David Carter 17th, James Johnson in 18th as the last remaining runners. So an incredible race here. We'll get a few words with some of the drivers if we could. We'll definitely speak with the champion, and we'll be back with you guys in just a short moment, so please hold tight.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number one on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
All right, and we are back here with the post-race interviews for the 6th round of the Virtual Clio Series from Knockhill. We've had 2 incredible races. We've had 2 different winners, and we've actually crowned a champion. We saw some incredible racing. I was joined by Season 1 champion as well, Mr. Adam Vaughn. I appreciate him joining in because I get really tired of hearing myself talk sometimes. But I'll start off with Race 1 winner, Mr. Ryan Callan. Incredible run in Race 1, wire to wire, great start. Talk to us about Race 1 and then also talk to us about Race 2. We caught that all live.
Yeah, there was some good stuff for Race 2 and some bad stuff. For Race 1, kind of easy. Nice. Even it was. I was so bored. It just, I don't know. Jesper kept me honest. And he was gaining the final stages. He had slightly better tyres than me, but I wasn't pushing. I had more to lose than he did. He had a big 8-second gap back, so I just kept it nice and controlled and made sure I didn't bin it like so many other people did. And I must say that probably was the most boring race in TPS history to watch as well as to racing. Actually, that first one. But it's nice to win.
Yeah, no, it was good to see you pull a win off. I know, obviously, this championship wasn't a big deal, but to get a race win, and I could see you were going for the win in Race 2. That the move on Chris Butcher was, both Adam and I agreed it was aggressive but fair. However, if Chris decided to turn in, you guys were both getting into some trouble.
Well, it happened a lot before. Jesper, they all gone into their side by side, and Jesper left the door open,
yes.
And it was there. And then the next lap, you know, it was open again, and Chris saw it late. It almost closed the door, but thought better of it. And you know, I didn't run wide or anything like that. I was perfectly on the inside. So yeah, I felt it was a completely fair move, to be fair. But yeah, and then obviously just pursuing Toby. It wasn't even pushing. I was just hanging fire because there's 4 laps to go. I was just hanging fire just for a second just to see what Toby had, and small laps of concentration, wheel on the grass. Over the anti-cut. As it was going, it's almost slow motion for me. As it was going sideways, I thought maybe I could go over the anti-cut and the wheels would all miss it, but obviously it flipped the car anyway. So
it looked spectacular though. So we got a really good replay of it. We caught it live. It was fantastic. So thanks for that, Mr. Callan.
It's no problem. Glad to entertain. It's a shame I couldn't get that go for the Race 2 win, but I don't know if we'll be able to pass Toby anyway. He's not an easy guy to pass at the best of times. So. No, but congrats to Toby also on the championship. Excellent, consistent season. Really wonderful.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, Ryan. We look forward to some more entertaining races and some commentating coming up too as well. So well done today. going to talk with Jesper Tolberg. If has he joined us? I don't believe so. No, I don't think so. But that's fine. We'll talk with Toby Davis. I got to get my talk in here with you, Toby. It's been a long time. 78 races. You've run in how many championships now? I think been runner-up.
Who knows? Too many.
You've raced a lot. You have finally won your championship. Now, how much of a relief is that to get that monkey off your back?
Well, I mean, you having been close a couple of times before in the WTM seasons, I was hoping that this one. After a couple of rounds, I realised that I actually had better pace than I thought I did. So it's so good. And also the other thing is there's only a couple of people left, me and Jesper, for the game pod seat,
yes.
Who have completed every lap. So hopefully I'll, there's 50-50 chance of winning that as well. So I'm so happy to do this, and it's the third time in a row THR have won the Clios as well. So I didn't exactly make it easy for myself, did I?
No. We did talk about your ear incident in qualifying, but you know what? It wasn't. It wasn't your day to throw it away. So I mean, you are now Virtual Clio Series champion. It's honestly, it's great to see you finally close one out. Your finishing skills have just been raised. But
well, it was pretty diabolical in a couple of previous championships, wasn't it? So
yeah.
But I mean, I think I made something like 20 positions up in race one.
You did.
So,
we faulted. Your start was.
I do want to. Yeah, I do want to quickly say, I mean, although I made up like 10 positions on lap one, there was a couple of slightly questionable moves that I will, of course, I'll send through to Wukash or discuss with.
Take the championship away.
I think we're going to have to take it away.
With the drivers, because I just got a little bit hot on the brakes. I was trying to make progress. So I think one of them was an Optimum car. I can't quite remember, I'm afraid. But I apologise to all cars, so sorry about that. But it's a big monkey off the back,
Well, breaking news, Toby Davis has just admitted that his championship is going to be stripped away from him.
Isn't it strange how we get so fickle when we know we've won?
Well, Toby, you had a great race in race 2. I mean, did you need to go for that race win in race 2?
No, of course not. I just fancied my chance against Chris, who'd done about 3 laps practice before qualifying and somehow managed to get on the pace. So that just shows how good Chris is. Actually, if he put in half decent effort, he could do a lot better than he actually does. I think half the time. Well, but THR 1, 2, 3 in race 2 as well. So.
Yep, I think people might be getting a little tired of it. I just do want to talk with Chris quickly. I do know he has to go. Chris, you just returned from Abu Dhabi. You must have had a blast. It was I'm sure I saw some pictures on Facebook, which hopefully we can get some up on the TPS page. And from what I hear, you got very little practice, but that's not uncommon. How do you feel your chances are for second place in this championship? John Monroe taking 2 DNFs today.
Well, it's obviously now it's just between me and Jesper, and I'm fairly optimistic I can do it. I just need to make sure I put the practice in for the next event.
Well, as even your teammate said there, and also co-founder of the team, it shows how good you are. If you put the effort in, you probably could be taking a championship. So definitely something to consider. But race 2 was a little racy. You, Jesper, Ryan, Davis. Any thoughts on that?
It was just good clean battling, I thought, and I agree with Ryan as well. His move on me, I didn't expect it to come from quite such a long way back. In all honesty, caught me a bit by surprise, but that's the way it goes.
Yep.
But it was good fun. I'd obviously led quite a lot of the race, and Toby had just been sitting in my slipstream, so my tyres were a little bit worse for wear than his. And then Jesper got me on the last lap as well when I got a bit sideways and then got trapped in by a back marker. But that was great opportunistic driving from him. But yeah, great team result. Obviously, team championship, probably for THR Orange now. I'm not sure. I've not really done the maths on it. Driver championship from Toby, well deserved for him. And probably the second place in the championship for THR Red as well, so all good.
Yeah, definitely. No, it was very, very good. I do want to have a word with Mr. Jesper Tolberg. I know he loves when I interview him.
Oh God.
Jesper, you and Toby and Chris, great battling. Obviously, currently with Toby taking the championship, you could potentially go for another runner-up in a championship. Are you going to be pushing hard for that, or is it just going to take it easy and see how it comes?
To be honest, I don't really care if I finished third or second, so just gonna take it easy.
Okay, well, as long as we get some entertainment. I mean, we've seen some great racing thus far. Also, we were discussing that it's you and Toby in a draw for the GamePod rig. I know you have yours now. Are you using it now? Have you found it helpful?
No, I went back to my old one. It doesn't fit me very well.
Well, it's good to know. Now you've got I know you were in the World Touring Masters. You've got another championship possibly lined up there. Putting in a lot of effort there as well.
Yep. Keep focusing and take that home.
All right. Well, I think we're going to wind this down. It's been definitely a blast. Thank you to the drivers for joining in. We will be with you guys again in 2 weeks' time for the next Clio race and some more excitement, although the excitement remains in the below the first position as Toby Davis has now locked up his first championship in Touring Pro Series. I'd like to say thanks to Adam for joining me here as well, too. It was a big help having you.
No problem. I'm sure Ryan's happy with that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, also, we need to talk about what we've got coming up. We have the 5th season of the American Touring Car Championship, which will be taking place this Friday. I will be returning to the wheel, driving. I've been told I'm no longer any good, but we also have WSS World Supertech Series. I believe the sign-ups are now available, or Toby, maybe you can give us a bit of a word on that?
Yeah, the sign-ups are still open. You've got until next Tuesday. Next Monday the sign-ups close. The entry list and the skin pack deadlines are on Tuesday, so you've got until basically next Monday to sign up and join in, and we've got some quality drivers on the go as well. I mean, you've got Enzo Benito coming in, the Tommy Nilsson, you've got, of course, some of the THR boys. It's going to be a ridiculous championship. Even Danny Asbury looks pretty good. And, of course, Team Walk as well, Mr. C's team, with Lauritz and Sorensen and the like. So plenty of guys who are definitely going to be fighting for wins, so it's going to be a quality championship.
So definitely get your sign-ups in if you have GameStop card. If not, I do still have licenses available for $20. Details are on the forums as well. But broadcast-wise...
Well, we have like 2 keys.
Well, that's
so they'd have to be quick.
Yes, for sure. ATCC this Friday. Make sure you tune in. It'll be starting at 9:15 Eastern Standard Time, followed by our next event, which will be the World Touring Masters, and the next 1 week from today at the usual time on our Wednesday broadcast. It'll be me and Liam Jenkins doing the comms there. It'll be World Touring Masters from Trois Rivières. So be sure to be there. You don't want to miss a minute of the Touring Pro Series broadcast. If you do, make sure you check out youtube.com/TouringProSeries for all of the live replay broadcasts and also the highlight videos as well. I just want to say thanks to everybody. Thanks to the viewers. Thank you to GamePod. We will see you guys this Friday. Thanks.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number 1 on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.